YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that instant analysis. This time we're going to do it on Mike Brown, who just got fired out of nowhere. Now, if you would have told me that Mike Brown would have got fired this year, I wouldn't have been surprised because I've been watching a lot of Kings games, and y'all can see that on my channel. And I've been looking at a lot of things they have been doing and how they really haven't had the season that they thought that they would have. They're only 13 and 18, so they're below 500 by 5 games. And it's unfortunate to see a person lose their job. I met Mike Brown when I was in summer league, kicking it down there in Las Vegas with them Hoopers. It was just crazy to see the Sacramento Kings get off to this bad start, and it just continued. It's like it never resonated with a lot of people. Why would we want to keep Mike Brown? I do feel like he did do the best that he could. We knew this team wasn't going to be good defensively. We knew that this team could be able to score with the best of them. They're a tough team to guard, a tough team to defend, but if you're not really making this team a playoff team, what are you really doing for them? I'm a person that believes in scapegoats. Somebody had to take the blame and take the shot and take the bullet as somebody and blame somebody because their job might be on the line too, and they rather save their own job than do it for somebody else. And I look at it like, man, it's crazy that Mike Brown has been one of these guys that always gets a coaching position, but every time he starts to get the talent that he needs, they always get rid of him first. And that's what the GMs do. They feel like you're the guy for that moment. They don't feel like it's always a long-term thing. They don't feel like it's a thing that they can continue to talk it out. And I just feel like Mike Brown was a guy that really did underperform with the talent that he had. Now, of course, they had injuries like everybody else. Of course, it was a rough season because you have some new pieces to this team that you're trying to figure out how they work and how they don't work and how to make everything work on both ends of the court. That never came to realization, unfortunately, for the Sacramento Kings this year. And that's why he had to be the first one to go because they looking at it like this team is not at the level at all of what we thought they can be, and we don't really have too many things we can do to improve this roster without giving up one of our big pieces. And even then, that might be a gamble to even decide to do that, just because we have to build the chemistry and the familiarity all up again, just for us to be able to possibly be a better team, which may take 1 to 2 more years. And De'Aaron Fox is already putting his foot on our necks and saying, I'm thinking about leaving. And this is the best player that we have on the roster. This is the guy that was one of the clutchest players in the league and one clutch player of the league and can take over games and win for 30 and win for 40 and win for 50 and showing you that he has the potential to be a franchise point guard that can possibly be a guy that can lead a team like the Kings or another team to a championship because he's so dynamic and so tough to guard, and he's a good facilitator and a guy that can really carry the offense and take over games. And you look at the fact that you have Sabonis too, an all-star big man, all-NBA big man to go right along with them, and then you add an all-star caliber player in DeMar DeRozan, and you add some decent pieces that they got throughout the seasons. It's just tough. It's just tough to say like how easy it is to get fired, even if you meet a requirement. We've seen guys get off to good starts and still get fired because of their relationship with the organization or because they had higher expectations for the teams. And we really don't know, but we always see a coach get fired every year or multiple coaches get fired every year for various reasons. And sometimes you do get to a point where you maxed out this roster. If this is the best we can get out of you and this is the best you can do, then we do have to find somebody that can take this team to another level. You can look at a team like Cleveland. They fired their head coach and kept the same personnel basically, and now they're the best team in the NBA for 3 straight months. And nobody believed that that would happen. Nobody thought that that would happen, but it is reality to this day. And that's the same thing that the Kings are going to figure out. Like, if we can't put no more talent, we probably gonna have to change everything that we do on both ends of the court, new system, the new defensive schemes, just to try to get this roster where it needs to be. Because most of these guys are on long-term contracts or on decent extended contracts, and we still want to show Fox that we're the best place for him to be at when it comes to trying to win. Because we homegrown this guy, and he's a walking superstar basically. because of our belief in him when we drafted him and his work ethic. And we know what he brings to the table, and we know his type of personality, and we know what type of leader he is because he's been here his whole entire career. And since he's one of the best players in the league, we all want to continue that going. But I would say Mike Brown has always been that guy where if you want a coach, he's a coach that can come in and get the guys to buy in and get the guys to do their job. And he gets a lot of goodness out of the role players. But once he gets that team that people think can really take over the NBA, that's the first time they have to let him go. And this is not the first time it happened for Mike Brown. It happened in Cleveland and other areas. And you just wonder, do people actually feel like Mike Brown is the stopgap coach, or is he really a coach that you believe you can win a championship with? And I always thought that, seeing how his career has been going as a coach, like, can we win championships with this guy, or is he just a filler until somebody becomes available that we like, that we can put in that head coach slot to be able to win? And that's tough to say because I like Mike Brown. I like what he's been able to do. I like how he's been able to get some teams to overachieve too. And of course, you need your superstar players, and of course, you need your role players to do their job. But he seems like a likable guy and a coach that people can relate to, and that's why he stays around for years before he does get fired. Probably for that reason, he's a down to earth guy, and he really knows basketball at a high level, or nobody would be giving him other positions as head coaches throughout the last couple years, even as assistant coach. 'Cause I think once you fire him, if he's not going to become a head coach, he's going to be on somebody's assistant coach roster right away. And that's how it usually goes for a guy who's so respected and so loved around the league, that it's just crazy that this continues to happen to him. But to be honest, as a person that's watched basically every Sacramento Kings game this year, I don't know what they expected. This is how the team. I mean, maybe you think they're 500 or a little bit above 500. Maybe you think they're a 45, 47 win team. That's kind of playing-ish. That's risky. Like, that's showing you that you didn't really have too much belief in your own team as a GM and as an organization, because their record is bad, but I don't know what they expected. I didn't think this was going to be one of the best teams in the league. I didn't think when they made the DeMar DeRozan pickup and other ones that this team would be a championship team. I thought they'd be better. I thought they'd be tougher to play against, but I didn't think that they was going to be in the higher upper echelon of teams in the Western Conference and against the Eastern Conference. I just thought that they got better. I just felt like they put together a better roster all around. But I also thought that the West got better, and some teams fell off, but they still have better players than what the Kings have. And if this is all you can get, and this is all you can do, and then you're going to say, Mike Brown, take this and work your magic, I mean, it's unrealistic. Like, these players are not where you need them to be, and we knew that they was guys that really best is to take over games. And if they're not really taking over games and playing their style of basketball, they don't really do much other than that. And I just feel like the roster, the way it was put together, it was set for him to fail eventually. And I'm not really surprised that he got fired, because Mike Brown usually is put in those type of situations. So, it's sad, and I would say that, and it's painful for him to continue to be a coach, and his goal is to stay a coach, and he wants to be a head coach, and he's willing to deal with the pains of being, a guy that people like, and a guy that people respect, and a guy that people feel like they need. Um, that's the purpose of continuing to hire him and not really getting the full fulfillment of what you feel like you deserve and what you should get. Is how jobs usually go. You can get fired for petty things. You can get laid off for petty things, and stuff can just come up out of nowhere. And, jobs can just let you go for whatever the reason is. And this is a reality for the NBA. Like, I don't really know what they expected this roster to be. I don't know what their expectation for their record to be. I don't know what they thought this team was going to achieve, even if they made the playoffs. But they do have talent, but every other team in the NBA has that too. And they do have star players. There's other teams that's struggling too. Even Jokic and the Nuggets are struggling. The Suns are struggling because of the injuries and because of their star players getting hit. They going through the same adversity as these other teams, and we feel like them teams are still better than this team. So the realistic expectation was playing to me. And if they're not getting in the play-in, they're going to be a little bit out, and that's where they're at right now. So I don't really know what to really say after that besides, I got love for you, Mike Brown. Keep your head up. You know how the coaching business can be. It can be ugly. It can be sad. It can be frustrating. But we sign up for these things knowing that that comes with the table. You seen him handle it like a professional, even though he's going to be mad, even though he's going to be disappointed, even though he got to know these guys, he got to coach these guys, he has to trust these guys and build up the level of respect with these guys. And somebody had to take the hit for this organization to continue to move forward in a different direction, whether that's good or bad. Doug Christie will be the head coach for probably the rest of the season or until they find somebody that they really like. And I just look at this roster and say, if you thought you was winning a championship, adding the teammates that you added, it wasn't realistic. If you thought you'd be a playoff team, that's the highest level that you could have got this team to go to. So I don't really know what you wanted out of Mike Brown. Their record ain't the worst. It ain't terrible. It just a little under what they thought possibly what it could be, and that's playoff guaranteed. And I didn't see that, coming in this year. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis, and let me know what you guys think about Mike Brown getting fired. Let me know what you guys think about Sacramento making this decision, going with Doug Christie for now. Can they find a better coach? Do you think they need to change their roster? Do you think they need to rebuild? Do you think they need to trade De'Aaron Fox and commit to going in a different direction? Whatever you feel, let me know in the comment section below. This is some big news. This is some huge news for the NBA because not only is another good coach on, the ability to be picked up, but this team also can be steered in a different direction. And they have some really great impact players on their roster. So if it's a fire sale on this roster early in the season, a lot of people are going to be buying in, trying to get these guys while, it can really help a lot of teams improve and get better, especially because some of these guys are on decent contracts and not really overpaid right now. And that's always a good thing, the bargain bin. And people love the bargain bin because they want this product, they wanted to get the product, and now they can eventually get it at a price that they like. And I think these guys are at that level, and I think Mike Brown is too. And this separation is something that was going to happen eventually. These guys are in their 30s. These guys are close to their 30s, and there's only so much that they can really do with this roster to the point where it makes sense for them to think, what can we do for the future? Because we're not really going to be competing for a championship no time soon because we're stuck basically contractually. We keep this roster together, and if we want to trade our pieces, none of them really going to get you back a great enough haul or a great enough player to change the trajectory of your team to a championship level one. And it is what it is, but it's the truth. Comment, like, subscribe, share the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to the channel, I do conversation videos just like this, just in different varieties. Also do breakdowns of legends, current players, rookies, and future stars. And also do cover the draft and also do make mock drafts. So you love that type of content, this is the channel for you. Check out my channel. I have over 3,000 videos already on there. Not only that, I also have my social media if you want to get content outside of what you get on YouTube. My social media is also be on my channel. Other than that, see you guys later. Sad for day for the Kings. Probably a happy day too, because they can go in a different direction, and that can be for a good thing. We don't really know how things are going to play out. We don't really know how things are going to happen, but at least we know they're committed to going in a different direction. Now we just got to see how it plays out, and that's all we can really do as fans. Other than that, see you guys later. Hopefully today with more analysis.